You know, every now and then, history throws a story at you that is just so strange, so unbelievable, you have to wonder if it's real. Well, today, we're diving into one of the absolute greatest. The story of a regular old ship's cat who faced certain death not once, not twice, but 3 times, and pretty much just shrugged it off.
I mean, seriously, think about that question. Could one cat really survive 3 separate shipwrecks in the middle of World War II? It sounds like the kind of tall tales sailors would cook up over a pint, right? But what we're about to find out is that the legend of Unsinkable Sam is one of the most incredible and bizarre stories to come out of the entire war.
So where does this all start? Well, it doesn't begin with a legend. It begins with a totally ordinary cat just doing his job. The year is 1941, and we're on board the pride of the German Navy, the massive battleship Bismarck. And somewhere on that ship is a black and white cat who at the time was called Oscar.
Now, you gotta understand, Oscar wasn't a pet, not in the way we think of one curled up on the couch. He was a working member of the crew. For literally centuries, cats were a crucial part of life at sea. They were there for pest control, to stop rats and mice from chewing through vital ropes or getting into the food. So seeing a cat on a giant warship like this, totally normal.
And his life was, well, a pretty good cat's life. He was a good mouser. He wandered around the ship's hallways like he owned the place. He found sunny spots on the deck to nap. And apparently, he spent a good deal of time silently judging all the humans around him. He was just a cat, you know, doing his cat thing. But that simple, everyday cat life, it was about to get completely turned upside down. In a huge, ferocious battle with the British Royal Navy, the Bismarck, this terrifying symbol of German power, was hunted down, crippled, and sunk. And to really get a sense of the scale of this disaster, just look at this number. There were more than 2,200 men on the Bismarck when it plunged into the cold Atlantic, an absolutely staggering loss of life. And out of that entire crew, this is how many survived. Just 114 men were pulled from the water. The odds of making it out alive were just almost 0. But then, in the middle of all that tragedy, sailors on the British ship HMS Cossack spotted something else. Something small clinging to a piece of floating wreckage. It wasn't a man, it was Oscar, soaked and looking, by all accounts, incredibly angry about the whole situation. So think about this for a second. He's rescued by the enemy, the very man who just sent his home to the bottom of the ocean. He's brought aboard their destroyer, and this is where his story takes a wild turn. This is where the legend really begins. And of course, the British sailors, having a classic sense of humor, they give him a whole new identity. He's not Oscar the German cat anymore. Now, he's Unsinkable Sam, and he becomes this sort of strange, furry good luck charm for the Royal Navy. Sam gets used to his new life aboard the HMS Cossack, and for a few months, things are quiet. You'd think, okay, he's safe now. The worst is definitely over. Nope, not even close. While the Cossack is on patrol, it gets hit by a torpedo from a German U-boat. I mean, you can't even make this up. The ship is blown apart, and there he is, again, floating on a piece of wreckage, still wet, still alive, and probably even more annoyed than the first time. The sailors started to joke that maybe Sam wasn't lucky, they just couldn't build a ship that was good enough for him. So you might be wondering, how is this even possible? Is there any science to it? Well, yeah, a little bit. Cats actually have a few things going for them in the water. Their bodies are naturally buoyant, their thick fur can trap little pockets of air which helps them float, and this is the big one, they don't panic like we do. Sam wasn't being brave, he was just being a cat, running on pure instinct. Okay, so after surviving 2 shipwrecks, you would think they'd put this cat somewhere safe, right? Maybe a nice, quiet desk job on land? Well, they did what they thought was the next best thing. They transferred him to the aircraft carrier HMS Ark Royal, a famous ship that was known for being incredibly lucky and surviving a bunch of close calls, or so everyone thought. He was on board for 3 weeks. That's it. Another German torpedo finds its target, and the supposedly unsinkable Ark Royal lists, capsizes, and sinks. For sure, this had to be it for Sam. His luck had to have run out. But no, they find him again, clinging to a plank. And this quote from someone who saw him just perfectly captures the whole legend. He wasn't scared, he was just disgusted, as if he was personally offended by the shoddy construction of these ships.
Right.
So at this point, the Royal Navy finally put two and two together. They decided that maybe, just maybe, this particular cat wasn't exactly a good luck charm for their multi-million-pound warships, even if he was lucky for himself. They made a very smart call. Sam's career at sea was officially over.
And so his chaotic life on the high seas came to an end. He lived out the rest of his 9 lives on solid ground, first at a sailor's home in Belfast, and then later in London. He basically spent his retirement doing what he probably wanted to do the whole time: nap, eat, and stay far, far away from any torpedoes. He passed away peacefully in 1955.
When you really think about it, Sam wasn't a hero, not in the typical sense. He didn't fight in any battles or save anyone. He never even asked for any of this adventure. He was just a survivor, a small, furry example of the will to live no matter how ridiculous things get. And that's really his legacy, isn't it? This wild, funny, and kind of inspiring story. It's about surviving against impossible odds. It's a reminder that sometimes history isn't just about grand battles and big strategies. Sometimes it's about the weird little stories that show us that, yeah, history has a pretty good sense of humor.
And maybe that's the ultimate takeaway from the incredible life of Unsinkable Sam. For all of our power, for all of our technology and our giant steel warships, there's a simple, stubborn little force of nature that just refuses to sink.